Short, good, fro, fluffy, nice. Prepare to get gas because it's time for the week in gear. This week, Epiphone gets even closer to the real thing in more ways than one. Ola England goes after Harley Benton's customers, and guitar players mourn the money that left their bank accounts in the Black Friday sales around the world. This show is brought to you by guitar auctions at 𝗚𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. More about them in a bit. Okay, let's kick off this week's most exciting gear releases with a bleepy bloopy pedal. Are you old enough to remember the sound of downloading a song in the early 2000s and trying to convince yourself that you could hear the music over all the nasty digital artifacts that came along with shrinking an audio file so that it could be squeezed and pushed through a 56K modem? Well, I am. I'm part of the LimeWire generation, and now we have lightning speed internet and the ability to have lossless audio files. It's become fashionable to want to put those digital artifacts back into the music. And Lossy does just that. Made in collaboration with plugin company 𝗚𝗚𝗘𝗚𝗏𝗚, the Lossy is a lo-fi, sparkly, plinky-plunky pedal that's definitely not aimed at boomers. Now, this is a kind of difficult pedal to describe, but the controls allow you to decide how your audio is being degraded and messed with, and by how much. You can also control all of this with an expression pedal or with MIDI if that's your thing, and this is the kind of pedal you need to sort of plug in and find out what it does, but it is blippy bloopy flippy floopy. And all those blips and bloops and flips and floops come at a price, however. The price of $400. Yeah, that's a lot of money, and I wanted to hate this. I thought the idea was stupid, and I thought the price was insane. But then I heard the demo, and yep, they pulled me back in again. If you're a producer that plays guitar, then this is a very fun way of making things sound fresh. However, the pedal is based on the 𝗚𝗚𝗘𝗏𝗏𝗏 Lossy plugin, so if you're just going to play it in the studio, it seems to make more sense to spend the $79 on the plugin instead. However, if you want these bleeps and bloops live, then the Lossy pedal is probably the best option. You could also achieve similar sounds with a cheap ring modulator, a cheap reverb and stereo panning, etc., but that all adds up. And if you like the sound of the Lossy, then what you're really paying for is this neat package all rolled up into one. At number 4 this week, Ola England and Solar Guitars entered the budget guitar market recently with 𝗚 by Solar Guitars. Originally available in places like Brazil to help combat the very high import costs of guitars there, 𝗚 by Solar are now available to most of the rest of the world. There is a whole range of models available with all the shapes you'd expect to see from guitars designed to chug, with prices ranging from only $220 to $350. And there's also a bass for under $300. Firstly, I think it's a really smart idea to create a sub-brand rather than just brand these as entry-level Solar guitars. That separates both the expectations and the reputation of both brands. Now, it also makes absolute sense to offer these in places like Brazil, where obtaining more high-end guitars is somewhat prohibitive. As for the rest of the world, I just wonder if the Solar brand is a strong enough brand to create that desire. The main question here is, why buy an 𝗚 by Solar when you could get something else from Jet Guitars or Harley Benton, or especially something in the Geo range from Ibanez? Now, of course, I applaud Ola and I hope it works out, and I'm very keen to try these out myself. In fact, if they're at NAMM, I will definitely be playing them. They'll be one of the top guitars on my list because I actually almost ordered one. I was on the click buy now thing and I just couldn't because my credit card is still slightly bruised from last week's purchases. Before we get to number 3 on the list, it's time to talk about this week's sponsor, GuitarAuctions.co.uk. GuitarAuctions.co.uk from 𝗚𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 have literally hundreds of guitars, amps, pedals, and other musical stuff in their 4-day guitar auction starting on the 5th of December. And I have picked some of my favorite lots to share with you. This gold-top Gibson Les Paul Deluxe from 1977, the year Star Wars was released, is estimated to sell at between £1,400 and £1,800. Or what about this 2007 Marshall Vintage Modern, currently going for £400. If you're looking for something very special, take a look at this 1957 Fender Strat, estimated to sell at between £22,000 and £25,000, but currently at only £20,000. That would be a lovely end-of-the-year present for oneself. GuitarAuctions.co.uk from Gardner Holgate are based in Bath in the UK, but all those auctions are also streamed live on the internet, so you can join in and bid from anywhere in the world, and they'll even assist you with the shipping. I highly recommend you take a look at their online catalogue, which is available here. If you scan this QR code, there's also a link in the video description. So go and find yourself something to bid on at guitar-auctions.co.uk. By the way, if you're enjoying this weekly show, don't forget to subscribe and leave a thumbs up so more people get to see it in the future. The more you interact with the video, the more YouTube spreads it around and the more shows I can make. Lots of you have said that this is your go-to YouTube show of the week, so let's help more people enjoy that feeling. Thank you! Third on the list is the Jet Black 38-watt valve amp from Bad Cat. If you know the Bad Cat Black Cat, then this is kind of like that, but louder. And if you don't know, I will explain. The Jet Black is a 2-channel tube amp with 3 12AX7s in the preamp and 4 EL34s in the power amp section. Yeah, 4. Channel 1 is for your cleans, but if you push it, you can also get some high gain out of it apparently, whereas Channel 2 takes you from 70s rock to modern metal and high gain. It's got a shared EQ and a built-in tremolo and reverb, plus an effects loop. These amps are designed and built in California, so the price surprised me, to be honest. It's $2,200 for the head and $2,400 for the combo, which I think is more than a fair price for what's on offer here. The Jet Black has been the main part of 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 effects, and I had no idea he'd gone back to pedals and tube amps. Black Cat say that this new model has improved headroom, better dynamics, and more volume over the Black Cat it evolved from. Interestingly, instead of a speaker-emulated line-out that could be rubbish, there's a simple line-out for reamping and adding your own impulse response device. So that might be to keep the cost down, but I like the versatility of not being stuck in one IR ecosystem, particularly if it's not very good, so I prefer to use my own. Well done, Bad Cat. This is an amp I could see myself using. It feels like it's sort of a Fender and a Marshall in one, but leaning slightly more towards Marshall. And if you play one out in the real world somewhere, please let me know what you think. Number 2 is a guitar with a multi-effects system built in, and it is hella metal. The Mooer GTRS M800 is an intelligent guitar with an alder body and a bolt-on neck with a bolt-on roasted maple neck with rosewood fretboard. 24 jumbo frets, a dual-action truss rod, black locking tuners, 2 humbuckers, and a hardtail bridge. The M800 is available in pearl white or pearl black. So the guitar itself seems pretty well spec'd so far, but the exciting part is the built-in G100 effects processor. This intelligent processor includes 16 guitar sims, 128 effects, 40 drum tracks, 10 metronomes, and even an 80-second looper. Why has it got 10 metronomes? You just need one. Maybe they mean 10 different sort of patterns of the metronome. Anyway, the M800 also has something we all want. It's got a super knob, which allows 4 presets, changing or guitar sim on and off and changing all those effects in real time. And there's a compatible Bluetooth foot switch for hands-free preset switching. There is, of course, an app for iOS and Android. Very cool that it's for Android too. This allows you to edit all the settings and save presets and share them and do all that sort of stuff. And it's a pretty beautiful looking app, if I may say so. This guitar is not for everyone, but if the sounds in the demo are really coming from the M800, then this is a killer all-in-one system for modern players. I have the GTRS S800, which is a Strat sort of more traditional looking guitar that has, I think, the same computer stuff built into it. And the fact that this modern one, the M800, the looks of it all sort of modern and futuristic, fits more to this kind of technology. If this guitar had a different name on the headstock, I could see it coming in at between $1,200 and $1,500, but Mooer have it priced at under $700, which is a great price for what could be an all-you-need guitar for certain applications. The GTRS I have is quite heavy, but it is a good guitar with all those extra features, so I hope that Mooer have addressed the weight with this model, because I wouldn't want to be jumping around a stage playing high gain with a super beast. Maybe. Anyway, I can attest that this system works, and I am really looking forward to seeing more companies adopting this kind of built-in effects thing in a few years' time. Honourable mentions. This week, again, it was kind of tough to get down to the 5 most exciting things, so here are some things that didn't quite make the list. Firstly, Tom DeLonge and Fender have released a limited edition blacked out Strat. So it's the same kind of specs as the regular one, but it's limited to 300 models. And after the controversy of the poor QC from Fender on the regular models, I really hope that these obviously collector's items are more reliable as actual instruments. I'm actually intending to get one, and this obviously airs after they've gone live, so I'll let you know in the comments if I got one. I also need to give a shout out to Harley Benton releasing a new bunch of guitar kits this week, and for making me laugh by posting this on Instagram. While the guitar in the middle is obviously a body blank, so you can shape it as you wish, just as you can the headstock, I really want to get one and just leave it as it is so I can laugh at it and use it as a table when I'm not playing guitar. Thanks, Harley Benton. Also a quick mention to Ibanez for releasing this TS Maxi Plush TS08 Tubescreamer pedal pillow. I love it, it's brilliant. I've got one to give away, and if you want to win one, all you have to do is enter the competition. There's a link in the video description. So, you want to win one of these? Go and check out the video description and have a look at the link.
Andy's Pick of the Week!
My pick of the week is the new 𝗚𝗏𝗏𝗡 Greeny 1959 Les Paul Standard from Epiphone, which has made it to the top of the most exciting gear releases, but for the wrong reason. First, let's go over the story and the specs. This Epiphone is the official, supposedly affordable version of the Gibson Les Paul owned by Peter Green, Gary Moore, and now 𝗚𝗏𝗏𝗡. It's a Les Paul with mostly the normal specs of 2023 Epiphone Les Pauls, but there are several things that stick out. The Epiphone Greeny has an Indian laurel fretboard rather than rosewood, which I think is becoming the norm now for Epiphone guitars. A custom Greeny neck profile, and a Greeny bucker humbucker in the bridge. And in the neck is the, of course, expected reverse-mounted, reverse magnetic polarity Greeny bucker. Damn it! Oh, and there's also this other change where they've put the Gibson open book headstock on an Epiphone. Just kidding, I actually think that this is huge news, and if Epiphone are to be believed, then this is the first Epiphone with the headstock, the real headstock, but it's not the last, so expect to see more of these coming. Anyway, I can imagine the team sitting around speccing a lemon burst guitar and wondering how they can, I don't know, squeeze more lemony juice out of it and into their pockets. I think it might have gone something like this.
Right, fellow Gibson employees, we need a way to get more money out of people that love authentic nostalgia.
What about an Epiphone version of the 𝗚𝗏𝗏𝗡 Greeny?
The what?
The Greeny.
Sorry, I thought you said something else then.
Weird.
Weird?
Yeah, it would be a Les Paul just like the one 𝗚𝗏𝗏𝗡 has, but instead of the $2 million price tag, we could make it an affordable Epiphone.
Whoa, affordable? We're Gibson. I said we need to make more money.
Hey, don't worry. This is like a normal Les Paul, but it's got mismatched knobs, just like the original.
Good. Give me more.
Gary Moore?
What?
How about we put the Gibson Greeny buckers in it? That'll raise the price a bit.
Good. Let the authenticity flow through you.
And let's put it in a brown case with pink fur. People think those are expensive, so that should take us to about $1,000.
It's good, but it's not enough. Give me something extra authentic.
Okay, this might be crazy.
Go on. Crazy sounds like money.
How about we put a Gibson open book headstock on it and add an extra $300 to the price? We add an extra $500 to the price?
Yes!
Anyway, they've already sold out at Thomann, so the fact that the Epiphone costs 1,700 euros in Europe is apparently irrelevant. But I do have a friend that works in the guitar industry, and he said that they play no better than a 699 Epiphone, so there's that. Now, I get that these are for collectors, but mark my words, I theorize yet again that because Epiphone are abandoning affordable pricing, Gibson will announce a new sub-brand, and I theorize it will be called Maestro by Gibson. Just a theory, just a hunch. I have nothing to back that up. Thank you to the supporters of this show who now have their names on screen right there. If you want your name up in lights, then click the join button right down there somewhere on YouTube or visit my Patreon link. And here's a special thanks to the top tier members. Dustin Bonney, Stephen S, Gary, Josh Tamberg, Sarang Narayan, Michael Lerner, Buddha Blue. This prank is officially sponsored by Jason Welch, Buzzle, Boom Shakaloko, Doug Paget, Alinta Boston, Hugh G. Erection, April Kurtz, PQ Deads, Mark Das Lamar. I love to see that list growing and more regular names coming back every week. Thank you so much. So go ahead and click there to subscribe, and don't forget to comment your pick of the week. I will see you in the next one.